That took how long?
2 minutes.
Literally,
to
if
your
you put the rest of the screws in, you can finish it off, you can stain it any color you want, you can make this look like $1 million.
You definitely buy the best cut of beef that you can get. Look for the white fleck. You see those white flecks inside the meat? That's all fat. Those are little flecks of fat, and those are good fats.
That's the fat we want?
That's the fat we want.
Okay, so this one, we call it the Zoomer.
Blueberry rosemary Zoomer.
All right,
Cheers.
having the first taste on camera.
Is it fresh?
It's explosive.
Holy cow. I love it.
From the Zoomerplex in historic Liberty Village, the Zoomer with Marissa Lennox.
Welcome to the Zoomer. I'm Marissa Lennox. As inflation continues to skyrocket, gas prices reach record highs, and airfares surge, taking a vacation may seem completely out of the question. So instead, why not turn your patio space into your favorite summer destination? On today's show, your DIY guide to transforming your backyard into a true oasis. And let's be honest, no backyard is complete without a grill. Broil King Chef Naz is here with some delicious and simple, that's key with me, recipes for your next backyard barbecue. But before we dive in, let's tee up the topic.
Your dream vacation is closer than you think. If the thought of jet setting raises your blood pressure, why not create a bit of paradise right in your backyard? More Canadians are renovating their backyards than ever, creating a place that fits their style and budget. No longer is it just a place to retreat for an evening cocktail. It's where you can entertain friends and family while enjoying the outdoors. According to one survey, 88% said they were dissatisfied with their outdoor spaces. Yet 90% agree that their outdoor space is more valuable than ever. Top of the list of planned outdoor purchases this year: fire pits, grills, lounges, and dining tables. Not only will improvements like these add value to your property, you'll be the talk of the neighborhood. Paradise is just on the other side of the door.
All right, on that note, let me take you from our studio to our patio space. So follow me. This here is Zoomer Media's patio space. We thought it could use some attention, so take a look at how we transformed it.
Oh man, these brackets are awesome.
This is it. Doesn't it look good? All right, we've got the barbecue fired up, drinks are being whipped up, but before we get there, a big thank you to our sponsor, Toya Grid, for making our dreams come true. They provided us with the brackets for the pergola and for the furniture, and they got it here pretty quickly, and they delivered it. So, you know, I have to say, Carson, it's nice in a world where materials are in short supply and in high demand. It's nice to know that there are some Canadian companies doing it right.
Yeah, people want to support local, and I mean, come on, supporting local and having a beautiful backyard, it is the dream for everybody at this time of year.
Couldn't agree more. Now, the trench word reimagining your backyard space has become so popular. There's actually a term for it. It's called backyarding. What is it? What are people looking for?
Yeah, so backyarding is basically making your backyard accommodate all the things you can't do on the inside of your house.
Yeah.
So we've been trapped inside for a long time. Everybody wants to get outside. I used to call it cabin fever, but backyarding is a great term for it. You want to get outside, you want to do things. Cooking, eating outside, taking your families outdoors in a safe environment that's in your own backyard. And what a great way to raise your property value at the same time.
Exactly, and I think that's partly the pandemic, right? It changed our expectations for our backyard space, which is why I love these pergola systems so much, because it really helps you to extend the indoor-outdoor.
Yeah, absolutely. Come this way. Take a look with me. So when you've got a space like this that has dining and seating and shade, all your guests are here for
And
drinks.
great guests, I was gonna say.
And
great guests.
with no drinks yet. Get on that. I mean, this
on
is what you want, though. This is the dream for most homeowners. They want to have a backyard space that they can do this. But I always tell people, before you start to invest in types of systems, really take a look at the inside of your house. What don't you have? Is your kitchen big enough? Do you want a fireplace? Do you need a sectional seating area? And once you know that, you can start designing your space. And that's where you start looking for systems like Toya Grid, because it allows you to be customizable. You can create what you need. So in this situation, we've used 6x6 posts. We've pushed it way up. We've created privacy panels for it. You don't have to go as big as this. You can customize it to what you need for your family, which is key. And they've made it so simple, even just brackets like this.
How does it work? It's hard to understand for me.
Yeah, literally you just get the wood size that you want. Now I said this is a 6x6, so a 6x6 post will go into here, any type of wood you choose to use. So pressure treated, cedar, it doesn't matter, they'll all fit in. You drill it in to mount it, and you just keep building it. It's kind of like the building blocks we played with as kids.
And you mentioned it's customizable. I like that. You mentioned it's customizable. So for example, here we have a privacy wall, which we've created, but you could go all the way up. You could create it on other walls. And how about these shades?
Yeah, the shades are fantastic. And what I love about the system, the shades are obviously going to be key because they allow you to give the shade where you need it on your house. But you can even take these shades and drop them down on the side walls. Let's say you have a lot of sun that comes in at the end of the day. You can actually put the shades on a side feature as well, giving you privacy, giving you shade where you need it, blocking maybe, say, the neighbors looking into your backyard. It's a great way to make the space work for you.
All right, we'll pick this up on the other side. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You need to have enough space to make it work for you, which is why DIY is so good now, because now you can make the furniture fit your space.
Welcome back. We're talking about transforming your yard into a true vacation-like oasis. And remember, these things are customizable when you're making upgrades. So you can do as much or as little as your budget allows, which is why I love this system so much, because it's affordable. It's also DIY.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot of people who want to build their own furniture. And I love that idea, except when you see all the fails. This is one of those systems that avoid all the fails. It gives you all the stuff that you need so that you can build it nice and easy.
And we're going to build it in just a minute. I'm going to build it. But before we get there, let's just talk generally about this space.
Okay.
What is the first thing someone should consider when looking at their space and what it is they need?
Well, when you're talking about patio furniture, first of all, it's the amount of area that it actually occupies. People always underestimate it because when you go into a big box store, you see everything all jammed into a
That's
space
right.
and you think, well, I can fit this table in my backyard.
Yes.
When you have people sitting in it, you've got to accommodate for the length of their legs when they stand up and they walk around each other at a dining room table too.
You don't want it to be a furniture showroom either.
No, but a 6-person table needs a good 12 feet by 12 feet to allow access around it, even if you're going to put it beside a barbecue,
That's right.
which is hot. You need to have enough space to make it work for you, which is why DIY is so good now, because now you can make the furniture fit your space, which is what I love.
So speaking of DIY, here we have this coffee table and this couch. So what you're saying is with these brackets, you could make that couch as long or as short?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really nice is Toya Grid now also provides the cushions, the backrest, and they make it customizable for you. So you could make this longer.
What do you think,
fill it up.
Charlie?
Comfortable. I'm liking it.
Yeah, you like it.
I might not get
There's
up
still
for a
no
while.
drinks in your hand, though. There's a problem here.
Rob, we got to get some
I'm
drinks
getting
going
there, I'm
here.
getting there.
Okay, so this table, for example, you could make it a little bit shorter if you needed. Similarly, with this guy, it can be as big or as little as you want.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always going to be minimum and maximum requirements whenever you're working with wood because you want it structurally to be safe. But Toya Grid gives you all of that and all the components. So you can go 2-section, 3-section, 4-section. You can continue to build it. So if you've got a 12-person family coming for a big family outing, what a great way to quickly build a table that fits everybody.
How quick? Just how quick?
I've built these in 20 minutes. We're going to build one, you and I, and it's going to take you less than 2 minutes.
Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So these are the end piece brackets. I'm going to hold this up and show you how it looks. Now, obviously, the wood is going to slide in here, and you're always working with 2x6 dimensions, okay? It's really important because that's what's going to properly fit. We build these upside down first because the screw holes are on this side.
There you go.
We want to make it easy. So if you want to grab the drill,
Okay.
I'm going to put a piece of wood in here. I'm just going to step around the side here so it makes it a little easier.
This is my first time using a drill, everyone.
Really?
It better not
Yes,
be.
it is. It is my first time
Really?
using a drill.
Okay. So this is going to go well. So what you want to do,
I'm getting nervous.
See how I've pushed it in there nice and flush to
Yep.
each side?
Yep.
Okay. You can see the screw holes.
Okay.
Not complicated.
Not
All you need to
complicated.
do is make sure you have screws.
Okay.
Look what I got. Okay, you ready for this?
What do I do?
Yeah, you're gonna put it in
it
like
on?
that, yeah, and you're gonna push it in, and you wanna push down with a little bit of force,
Okay.
okay? Push down a little bit more. There you go.
Is that right?
That's basically it, yeah. I mean, you're gonna do 12 more,
Okay,
14
let's
more.
do it.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going. But before we get into that, I wanna point out a few things. So with the screws in here like this, you'd actually put a little cap over it. When the caps come with the system, it hides all the screws, but it also prevents any rusting if you have to take this apart later on.
Oh, okay.
Right? It prevents any debris from getting in there because you don't want that. Then what you would do is you would do the same process over and over and over again and just keep putting all the pieces in. Now, I like to put all the pieces in before I screw both sides, just because then it fits in nice,
Got
slides
it.
in,
That makes sense.
absolutely. So we're gonna do that. Now, how confident are you feeling to do another one?
No. Let's do it.
Yeah, you wanna try?
We'll do it, okay.
So let's,
Did I do great on the first one?
Sure.
Okay. Is that
So let's
great?
do one on this
Okay.
side. I'm gonna give you another screw here.
Okay.
There we go.
Pulls them out one at a time.
So try that. Yeah. So remember, put some weight behind it. There you go.
Oh! Oh.
Push down, push down. Yeah, push. Perfect.
Woo!
Okay, so now you would continue to do that, but we're just gonna flip it up for the sake of showing everybody what it looks like. That took how long?
2 minutes.
Literally,
To
if
your
you
point.
put the rest of the screws in, you can finish it off, you can stain it any color you want, you can make this look like $1 million, and it's easy, and when you're done with it, you can take the brackets off, you can tuck them away. So now you have furniture that accommodates your needs, that is, you know, flexible because you can put it away in the garage if you don't need it for the rest of the summer.
It's affordable and it looks great.
And it's Canadian made, which is key.
All right. Carson, thank you. When we come back, Charlie Dobbin's here to green up this space. We'll be right back.
Like, remember, it's a show. So our planter is doing a show for everybody out here. So it's like an amphitheater. So instead of putting everything in straight, put things to showcase.
I like that. Welcome back. Well, no yard is complete without some colorful plants living to help bring it to life. Charlie Dobbin is here to help us do just that. I love when you come, Charlie. First of all, how did you know hydrangeas are my favorite?
Well, you know,
especially the white ones.
They are so popular. And I knew you would love them.
know.
They speak to you. I mean, this is a very pretty hydrangea. It's a shrub, obviously, right? Meaning it's a woody plant. It'll live forever and ever and ever if we plant it in the ground.
Okay.
For the summer, we're putting it in a planter.
box.
And we're going to enjoy it all summer. But before winter, we're going to pop it into the ground so it'll be with us again next year.
And is there any particular time of the year to be planting hydrangeas?
Okay, so the only reason we don't plant is when the ground is frozen.
Okay.
Okay, so
Fair enough.
if it's really hot, it can be a bit stressful on us to dig holes and a little stressful on plants. So it's the peak times for planting are usually spring and fall.
Okay, and then when making these beautiful displays, you've got something hanging over here.
Well, yeah, because you know, when you do any kind of a container garden, you want like a real wow, but then you also want the trailing plants. It grounds the planter, really. Like I said, but check out, give a little fuzz here, give a little twirl, give a little sniff.
It smells like mint.
It is.
Can you
It's
eat it?
Pineapple mint. Yeah, of course.
Oh, there you go.
Mojitos.
We might mix some of those up a little bit later. Okay, so that's incredible. And then what, you know, when you're looking at a space, before you got here, this was bare. There were no plants here.
I know.
So you went to town decorating it. And, you know, what was your idea? Where did you start?
Well, whenever you've got those verticals, those uprights holding up the pergola, we want to, again, to some extent, emphasize them by having vining plants growing up, but also mask them. We don't want to see, I mean, the wood was nice, we spent a lot of money on it, but the plants are way prettier. so softening, that's what plants do, right?
Yeah.
They soften, they warm a space, they obviously add aesthetic beauty to a space. They add all kinds of great oxygen, etc.
And so you can have some of these tall plants here like this.
That's a mandevilla. So that's a tropical vine, and it'll grow up. If we give it something to grow on, it'll grow right up.
But the other thing I love about this privacy wall is, let's say you were on grass. You could actually plant something like a climbing hydrangea right up it.
For sure, that's right. We could have real, actual gardens right at the base.
Yes, in this
which
case,
I would if this was mine.
we're on concrete.
Yeah.
So we need to work with what we've got.
Yeah.
So you suggest, how would you call
Well,
this?
these are called hay racks.
Hay racks.
So it's a cocoa fiber that's holding it all in.
Yeah.
Of course, soil goes into that. I brought some plastic because you'll find that these will dry out very, very quickly above ground with soil straight in.
Yeah.
You can do it, and they drip and it gets a bit messy. So a little plastic liner to start before we put the soil.
Okay.
Goes in, and so we'll kind of just hold that in place. The wind is blowing it.
How does it drain?
Well, what you'll find is we could poke some holes to facilitate drainage if we were worried about there being a lack of drainage.
Yep.
And probably a good idea on principle. Always have some drainage. So yeah, you want to cut a few little holes, or we'll wait and do that later. You can always poke holes later, right? Got soil here.
Okay.
Gloves
Put my gloves on.
And we'll worry about using those scissors.
I tell Charlie every time I see her that everything I know about gardening, I owe to her. Which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing for your reputation, Charlie, but...
Do you listen to my radio show?
Of course I listen to your radio show.
There you go. Every Saturday morning, 9 a.m., The Garden Show.
Okay, should we start to fill this up?
740. Absolutely. Let's get some soil in here.
Okay. Any particular type of soil that you prefer?
This is just
Regular
it's
garden.
just like this is an all-purpose potting mix.
Got
It's
it.
got to be a potting mix.
Okay.
You don't put garden soil in a pot. We only put garden soil in the gardens.
See, things I learned from Charlie.
Yeah. So we'll get it, about 2/3 full,
Okay.
and then try not to mess up our faux turf.
We're gonna try and make
too
this one
much.
look as beautiful as that guy over there.
Yeah. So here's our wow.
That's our wow.
Focal point. It's, as you can see, it's a colocasia, which is also known as elephant ears. Check out the roots on that.
Now, should we be pulling this apart?
Yes, we
Okay.
should. So it's just a kind of peel it down like this, because otherwise those roots are just going to stay in that tight situation that they've got going on there. So by opening it, the roots will now grow out. With a planter like this, it's a summer thing only. We've got to go right in the middle, find the middle. It's a summer planter, but what we're putting in here, we could keep these plants alive. Let's just pack a little
How
soil.
far into the fall could you keep it alive? Would you say?
Oh, frost. A serious frost will kill this plant, but a light frost will cause the leaves to drop, and at that point there's a tuber we can store inside for the winter with the elephant ears.
Okay.
All right, so we got
Look
more
at that,
plants here.
that's
So
beautiful.
here's the sunshine and patience.
Okay,
I'll
and
give
again,
you-
with all of these, do you want me to open up the bottoms a little bit?
Yeah, if they're really root bound. And I think
Okay.
partly we're seeing that because of the time of year. It's
Okay.
midsummer now,
Midsummer,
right?
exactly.
Whereas if we were doing this back in, May, we might not see quite as much root growth
Yep.
on these plants. So another tip to consider is, number one, we need a little more soil. But tilt them forward. That's what happened over there is it didn't, remember, it's a show. So our planter is doing a show for everybody out here. So it's like an amphitheater. So instead of putting everything in straight, put things to showcase.
that.
Also, there's always a best side forward, right? So we could do it that way, but that's not as pretty as how you had it. You had it the right way.
And how often would you water something like this, or just let nature do its course?
No, you'd have to water.
You have to water it, got it.
Yeah, so it becomes you gotta get the water going. In the heat of summer, when it's hot and sunny, it could be every day,
Got it.
right? So depending on how much shade, how much cloud.
Okay, a couple more plants before I let you go so you can see a final reveal. Oh,
That goes, okay, just need a little more soil. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of a fiddle till we get things in position.
and this guy.
The perfect positions. Yep. This leaf really wants to be in part of the show.
Okay, I'm gonna let Charlie fuss with that one. We'll be right back after the break, don't go away.
It looks so good.
I'm always gonna taste before I... Oh, you're welcome. You're gonna love this one.
It's summertime, so let's keep the party going. We have cocktails here. Mixologist Rob Berry here to whip up a few summer cocktails. What have you got for us today, Rob?
Well, today I'm going to make a Zoomer cocktail for Moses, and we're going to start with some blueberries, rosemary,
Come on
vanilla.
in, Moses.
We're going to start off by putting
Here
a
you
Surprise
need
guest.
a volunteer.
Have you ever seen him on the Zoomer before? Very rarely.
There he is.
So we're going to throw some blueberries into our shaker here. We're going to grab a bit of vanilla simple syrup, and we're going to grab some lemons, and we're going to squeeze some lemon into
The whole
our
idea
shaker.
about this is to be simple, right? Simple, easy.
Anybody could do it at home. You don't need juices, you don't need mixes. We could just grab fruits and vegetables, herbs, ice, alcohol, and we're good.
And we're good.
And we're good.
You don't need egg whites. Who needs egg whites?
We could do those and get
Then
fancy,
you
but
need
this is
someone like me to contribute the act of drinking.
Yes. You have a very important meeting to go to next. Are you
I
gonna...
am an appreciator for hire.
awesome.
Rob's making this up on the fly. And I bet you it'll be delicious. Okay, what was that you just put in there?
So I threw in some rosemary sprig, some vanilla simple syrup, some blueberries. We're gonna grab some awesome gin from just down the street here at Nickel 9 Distillery. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
Wow, locally made.
I like the design here.
It's a
Very
beautiful bottle and it's a beautiful product. That's why I brought it. It's because it's about quality as well. So we're using quality, real fresh fruit, real fresh herbs, real fresh, really good alcohol. So we're gonna have a really awesome cocktail. We've got it all mixed into our shaker here. We're gonna put it on top and gonna give it a good shake. We're gonna hold back
I
that
love
ice.
that last one. That was classic.
That first one's for you. When did you have time to build that?
Isn't that beautiful?
I know.
I got a straw for you.
Okay, so this one, we call it the Zoomer.
The blueberry Zoomer, blueberry rosemary Zoomer.
All right,
Cheers.
having the first taste on camera.
Maybe a little sour, but is it fresh?
Looks explosive.
Holy cow. I love it.
You love it?
Thank
Is
you.
it too sour? Does it need some sugar?
Could use
I try
a
to
little
keep
sugar,
it. I try to
but
keep the sugar down because we want
like
to go
that.
on the low sugar
And on the low cal.
On the low cal, so we're using tonics and
Yeah.
soda waters instead of sugars and juices that
Perfect.
get too sugary in the summertime, especially when it's hot. You really don't want the sugar. You actually want to refresh. So something a little bit
Can
more
I
sour,
take
a
this
little bit more
away?
tart.
You can take it away. Thank you, Moses.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Welcome.
I think we've got a couple
I
other
hope
people
I've
over there.
contributed to your broadcast.
Fantastic.
All right, so this is the question that I have about cocktails, because particularly the types that you're making, you're not masking them with all kinds of different flavors. So how important is the quality of the alcohol? Does it matter?
Yes, it does, because what is alcohol made from? So if it's made from potatoes, is it made from corn, is it made from rye? They're all gonna have different flavor profiles. So we wanna be able to profile those flavors and create a cocktail from there.
All right, let's make the next cocktail. Which one
All
do you
right,
have in
so
mind?
the next one we're gonna do is, we're just gonna do a basic gin and tonic. But we're gonna make a really awesome, yummy gin and tonic by grabbing some strawberries. We're gonna throw some strawberries
I've never
into.
considered strawberries in my gin and tonic.
Oh, wow. Okay, and we're gonna throw some basil into our, so we got basil and strawberries. We're gonna grab our muddler, and we're gonna muddle these together, and we're gonna get awesome flavors. We're gonna have the herbaceousness from the strawberries and the basil. Strawberry and basil go so well together, it's incredible. We're gonna grab some ice. We're gonna ice up that glass. We're gonna grab our gin.
Next one goes to Carson.
We're gonna grab our
Here's the
tonic.
thing about a gin and tonic. I often drink it on an airplane, so it's never fancy like this.
No, but we're just gonna make a gin and tonic a little bit more herbaceous, a little bit more barbecue, a little bit
Yes.
something that you have in your garden, like our friend who's doing gardening over there. I do my herbs. All my herbs are from my garden.
Are they really?
So you
That's
can
great.
put those right into your drinks, and you've got a fantastic cocktail right away. I'm gonna put in a dash of bitters, or grapefruit orange bitters into here, just to add some flavor to it. Bitters is to cocktails like salt is to food. So we're just gonna throw out our
Interesting.
bitters into our cocktail. We're gonna give it a quick stir into our cocktail. I could get all fancy with it and do it in a Yari in a glass and double strain and
I
do all
believe
kinds
you.
of fancy
We
stuff
don't
with
even
it.
necessarily
but
need
we
that.
really don't want fancy right now. We just want cocktails.
This one's going to Carson. While you're whipping up the next one, I have to ask, what are some great cocktail starter packs. There you go, gin and tonic for you, some
Beautiful.
strawberries in there. What are some great cocktail starter packs? I mean, what should people have in their bar?
Okay, so you want the basics. You want rum, gin, vodka, tequila, maybe a bourbon, and maybe a brandy. You need an orange liqueur because it's like salt in the kitchen. You need an orange or something, so we have another nice orange liqueur for here. If you're gonna make a margarita, if you're gonna make any kind of awesome drinks like that, you really want that orange accent that will kick it up a notch. So let's make a drink with the orange accent, some pineapple juice, and some vanilla, and go from there and see what we got for there.
While you mix up this next one, I have to ask, what is your desert island drink? Is that what you're about to make? You're on a desert island.
Oh, a desert island. Well, you get coconut, right? You can
colada?
you can make a pina colada. Well, you can grab a coconut, crack the coconut open, and grab all that fleshy heart out, and now you got coconut water. Grab that coconut and scrape the inside of the coconut into the water, and you got coconut cream. Add ice.
Malibu?
Add rum. Hey, if you got Malibu, add Malibu. Otherwise, just use a regular rum or a spice rum with some vanilla into it and some pineapple juice.
All right, maybe one more cocktail.
And maybe a little bit of cream.
Maybe one for me.
All right.
No, I haven't forgotten about you, Will.
First, we're gonna put ice in our glass, and then we're gonna put ice in our shaker. Okay, we're gonna do some pineapple juice.
Is this the desert island drink?
Yeah, well, we're in the Caribbean, so we're gonna go desert island, some pineapple.
Okay, pineapple juice.
We're gonna do some vanilla simple syrup to kick it up a notch.
I never know how much simple syrup to put in these things.
Okay, so how much lime juice or how much sour are you gonna put into a juice? So when you squeeze a lemon or a lime, you're gonna get 1 ounce to 2 ounces of lime juice. So you gotta make up a simple syrup. So sugar and water, bring it to a simmer. And how much sour did you put in your drink? I put in 1 ounce, then put in 1 ounce of simple syrup to balance.
Got it.
Then we wanna have something strong, which is the alcohol. Then we want something weak, which is the ice or the water. Then we want something bitter or astringent or dry to help balance your drink. Even a pinch of salt helps with balancing cocktails, especially if it's too sweet.
Got it.
All right. Here we're gonna use some awesome
Vodka.
vodka.
You didn't even measure that one.
I count.
It's a double.
I count in my head. I usually do measure, but in the barbecue and you're in someone's house,
You're a professional.
you're not
who
gonna
needs-
measure. Who wants 1 ounce of rum and Coke? Come on, give me at least 2-3 ounces of that back there. Kick it up a notch. All right, so we've got our pineapple. We're gonna grab some bitters over here. Kick it up a notch with habanero bitters. So it's got a little bit of a spice to the pineapple.
Oh, I like that.
And if you really want to go a little bit more spice on it, we could do a dash of the cayenne. It's gonna kick it up a notch.
I like heat.
And then we can.
Usually on my food, but maybe in my cocktails too. We'll find out.
And we can also rim. We're gonna rim that glass first. We're outside, so it doesn't matter. We just rim that glass and get it all wet. Bam, got a nice tahine. Tahine and pineapple, tahine and mango, awesome salty lime flavor that goes with the drink. I think they're good enough for Canada.
This one's for me, Rob.
I'm always gonna taste before you should always taste. Oh, you're welcome. You're gonna love this one. All right. It's gonna have a little bit of a spice or a bit of a kick with it. Make sure you get some of that tahine on you.
Okay. So good, Rob. Thank you. When we come back, the moment you've all been waiting for, that amazing food over there, we're gonna talk about it and we'll show you just how to do it on the other side of this break.
This is a cedar plank. I soaked it for about half an hour. You can use ginger ale, you can use wine, because it's gonna steam up and that flavor is gonna go into that salmon.
It is summertime, which means it is grilling and patio season, and here to get us ready for it is Royal King's resident chef, Barbecue Naz.
That was all in one word. That's pretty good.
Delighted to have you here. And
Thank you
also,
for having
chances
us.
are, if you're serving up meat and fish, you'll also be serving up some wine. And so here for the perfect food and wine pairings is Will Martin from Noble Estates Winery. So before we get to the wine, though I would love to, let's get to what we're serving up here today.
I'm gonna start with the mushroom because the mushrooms are very simple to do. You're gonna take some portobello mushrooms and you're gonna take a spoon, take off the stem, take off the gills inside, and you're gonna make a mix. I've already made some here, but what I put in here was some oregano. It's a marinade. We're gonna take these mushrooms, you're gonna put them capside down, and you're gonna poke some holes in them so when you marinate them, the juice actually goes through.
Okay.
And these are fantastic for vegetarian dinners, as an appetizer or as a full dinner. The mushrooms come out absolutely amazing. What we use is some oregano, some smoked paprika, a little bit of garlic, salt, pepper, of course, some balsamic sherry vinegar, and some Worcestershire.
Okay.
How do you say that? Worcestershire?
Worcestershire?
Worcestershire. We'll probably say it right after a few drinks from
might
Will
know.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you just kind of shake it up. Shake it up. You put these in a platter or a bowl, and you pour the marinade over, and you let them sit for about half an hour.
Okay. And do you have to let this sit for a little bit?
No,
or-
no, no. You just shake it up and
Got
then
it.
just pour it. The jars are the best for shaking up, making marinade. So simple, very, very simple. Once they're done, you put them on your grill, and you grill them capside down first, 3 minutes. Quarter turn them 3 minutes, and then flip them on the other side for the last 3 minutes. So about 5 to 9 minutes. These things, depending on the thickness, they'll turn out absolutely beautiful, and they taste amazing.
And you want them to be a little bit charred there.
You want them to be a little, not too much charred. That's more, they look charred because when you're putting a balsamic on it, it actually changes the color. Same with the steak. You'll see that on the steak.
Okay. Can I try it? Are those ready to go?
If you'd like, sure, absolutely. I'll get you to try one. Let's try the one right here.
I'll try it while you're cooking up the
Sure.
next dish.
The next dish. Actually, we could have some really cool drinks with the mushrooms too, no? Here we go. Try that.
What do you advise?
So, when you're starting off a meal, it's always good to start with a little sparkling wine. So we have today Bottega Prosecco. I'll pour some for you there.
Prosecco and mushrooms. I've never considered that pairing.
The thing about Prosecco, it basically pairs with everything. Think of it like a little wedge of lemon. A little bit of acidity, freshness, really sparkles in your glass.
This is excellent.
Nice. Glad to hear it.
It's good.
I like the mixture. I like the combination.
I don't have one.
Oh, I'll get you one, buddy.
While he's making me a drink, I'm gonna get the salmon on. We're gonna season the salmon and then put it on the smoker.
Is that a cedar plank?
This is a cedar plank. I soaked it for about half an hour. Yeah, and you don't have to just use water. You can use ginger ale, you can use wine, you can use whatever flavors you want to instill into that salmon because it's gonna steam up and that flavor is gonna go into that salmon. I put citrus on the salmon, some lemon, some lime. We're gonna put some sesame. Where are my sesames here? We're gonna top those off with sesames, some dill and some parsley just to finish it off. Then I'm gonna take these guys here and I'm gonna take this to the grill and I'm gonna set the grill at a 350-degree temperature. And we're gonna set it in there. The smoke from the pellet grill, it's gonna cause some smoke. Actually, I'm gonna take it there if you wanna come join me.
I'm bringing your cocktail with you.
Hey, thanks, Will.
You're welcome.
So I've set this at 354 degrees and we're using pellets. And you get this wonderful smoke.
Now tell me a little bit. Oh, that's the final product
That's
there.
the final
Tell
product.
me a
That's
little bit
actually ready
about
to
this
take.
grill because it's Canadian made. I love Canadian made products.
Our company is out of Kitchener-Waterloo. It is a Canadian company. And quite honestly, the best thing about this brand is that whether you want to spend a few $100s, like $400, $500, or you want to spend in the excess of $10,000, we have these kitchens for $10,000.
Oh.
The engine of that grill, the quality of the product they use, it's all the same.
Incredible.
You pay for more stainless, you pay for a larger grill, you pay for the lights, but the quality and the way it turns out your food, absolutely amazing.
I'll give this to you. Should I take this guy?
Sure.
Is it a little bit hot?
No, it's good now.
It's okay?
Yeah, let's take it over there
Let's
so
take
we
it
can
back.
eat it. Oh.
Oh, this looks good. So how long would you grill this for?
That would probably take, so if you do a whole filet, it's gonna take you maybe about 30 to 40 minutes. I cut them, a whole filet. I cut them in little fillets.
Yep.
So it takes a little less time, maybe about 15 to 20 minutes. Yes, go right ahead.
I'll take
I know
a bite.
you want to sample.
What do you advise, Will?
So when you're having a darker fish like salmon, you can choose to pair it with rosé, sort of the in-between between white and red. And that way it won't overpower the fish.
Ooh.
That's incredible.
It's still, look at that, still
There you go.
opaque. Beautiful. You try that.
Oh, I'll take a bite. Thank
There
you.
you go. Well, you made me a drink. I might as well feed you too, right?
Oh, this is a nice rosé.
Yeah, so this is the Sophia Rosé from Coppola. Have you ever seen The Godfather?
Yes?
So Francis Ford Coppola directed The Godfather, and his daughter, Sophia, was a little baby infant in one of the shots. So now she's got her own bottle with her name on it.
And it's a pretty little looking bottle, too.
Yeah.
All right, and the last dish.
The last dish, steak. Let's do some steak. Yeah, I know you like steak, but I'm gonna get you to help me with this one.
Okay, okay.
Because I've been doing all the work here, me and Will. Now you're gonna have to help. Okay.
I'm not so good in the kitchen, though, Chef Naz.
No? Well, I'll make you do the easy stuff.
Okay.
One of the things you need to look for, let me try to get this out so I can show it. When you're buying or looking for a good cut of beef, you gotta make sure, first of all, if you notice, my cuts are about 2 inches thick.
Yep.
That gives you a little bit more open window to not overcook that steak. And the number one tool, if you're gonna cook a steak, is a thermometer. I mean, we learned other tricks in the trade, and when I was cooking, we would touch the steak and the meat and the bounciness of it. You would know whether it's rare, medium rare, etc. You definitely buy the best cut of beef that you can get. Look for the white flecks. I don't know if you can get a close-up of that. You see those white flecks inside the meat? That's all fat. Those are little flecks of fat, and those are good fats.
That's the fat we want?
That's the fat we want. The one on the outside, see the one on the outside? You want to make sure you don't leave too much of that fat. You want to trim that down a bit. But that fat inside, it's okay. The fat on the inside is what melts and gives you a lot of the flavor.
Right.
That one there, I'm just going to do with a simple salt and pepper. I'm going to get you to do the marinade.
Okay.
Can we do a marinade?
Let's do a marinade.
Yes? Okay. So I'm going to add, the marinades are great when you want to do less tender cuts, an eye around, something that doesn't have as much fat. I'm going to get you to do the Worcestershire.
That's this guy?
Yeah. I'm going to put some Dijon mustard. And the recipes are all online here.
I pour it all in, right?
Sure. We're going to put some balsamic. Put some balsamic in there. We're going to put in some, you grab that one. That is, what is that one? Soya.
Soy sauce.
Soya sauce. I'm going to put some garlic in there. We're going to put a little bit of pepper. There's some pepper right there.
Just a little bit.
About a teaspoon. Perfect. I don't have to add any salt because the soya salt. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna close this and we're gonna put this in the fridge. We don't let them marinate outside of the fridge. You wanna keep it cold.
Okay.
Pull it out maybe 20 minutes before you're gonna actually grill, 20 to 30 minutes, so that room temperature, making sure it gets to room temperature. That way when you grill it, it grills evenly. You don't get hot and cold spots and it doesn't get done properly, okay?
Good to know.
So I'm gonna season this one. I'm gonna put this one on the grill. And what are we gonna pair up with this steak here?
All right, well, we're going to Spain for this one. So we have a lovely red here from Spain. And you'll see on the label, this is something you can look out for in the LCBO. If it says Gran Reserva, it means that by law, it had to be aged for 5 years before it even touched the shelf.
Why is that important?
So sometimes a young wine can be a little bit aggressive. It can make your mouth feel like there's too much dryness.
Right.
And you won't enjoy that feeling. But when you have a nice aged wine with your steak, it's magic.
Is this my steak right here?
That's your steak.
Wow. Do you want me to cut that for you?
Actually, yes, Will.
All right.
You got that, Will?
Teamwork
Thanks,
makes
buddy.
the dream work. Got
There
your
we go.
section from the middle there.
All right.
There you go.
Let's give it a try. Incredible. Chef Naz,
Is that good?
Will, thank you. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back. As always, before we go, I like to get to some of your questions. So let's get to the first one from Johan in Toronto. Here's what he writes. He goes, my backyard space doesn't have concrete or brick. It's just grass. So do we need to pour concrete, or can a pergola be mounted directly on the grass? What if the ground is uneven? Carson.
Great question, first of all, because you want structurally to be solid. In this case, when you're using 6x6 wood, it's nice and heavy. You can actually have it freestanding on top, as long as you've got somewhere legged off so that it's stable. If you're thinking about putting down concrete, that is a very large investment. Personally, I don't like to go that way first. Create the shade, enjoy the space.
Love that. Okay, the next question comes from Raj in Toronto, and here's what he writes. He says, what is a good way to add light to my backyard in a way that's energy efficient?
That's so
a good one.
tricky. Yeah, people always think about the end result first. They think I want overhead sparkle or they want something nice. You got to figure out where your plugins are. And if you don't have easy access to plugins at the back of your house or where you want to put the light, then you got to go solar. And I am a huge fan of the new solar systems, even that have the panels that are separate to the light, so you can put the panel in the sun and the light where you need it.
That's the best.
Cool. All right, I like that. Okay, the next one comes from Jane in Mississauga. She writes, I live in a condo. What are the best ways to create some green space? I only have a small balcony, Charlie.
Oh, easy. A couple of pots, some of your favorite plants, right? Favorite colors, favorite edibles. Depends whether you got sun or shade, obviously.
Edibles are a good one.
Edibles are always good. It could even just be
Especially
simple.
with inflation.
Herbs, yeah. Oh, yeah. Whether it's some parsley, it could be anything. Basil, I grow all those things.
Okay, all right. And the last question comes from Carmen in Surrey, and here's what she writes. What's the best way to clean a barbecue, Chef Naz? What's the best way to clean a barbecue? She said, I've heard that there are real risks if wire is left on the grill and it's inadvertently consumed. Do you advise using grill mats?
It's very important to maintain your grill. If you wait to clean your grill, it's gonna take you a full day. When you're cooking, the grill is already hot. So once you take your food off, people have a tendency to grab their brush and then they go to clean their grill. That's just gonna take all the food that's on there and put that on your grill. Put your grill back on high, put your lid down, go eat your food. 5-10 minutes, come back, lift your grill up, turn off your grill, and you'll see that everything turned to an ash. You take your brush, clean it into the barbecue, clean the ash, not the food.
What about grill mats? What do you think about those?
I'm not a big fan of grill mats. I think they're easy to use, and you're putting food on it, very simple. Then take it off, wipe it, and away you go. But if I'm gonna use grill mats, I'm gonna use a griddle instead. A griddle is just as easy, just as clean, very simple to clean. Once your griddle gets all cleaned up, all you do, put the barbecue on high again, you put some water on it, and you're steaming the clean.
How often should you do that? Every time?
Well, when you're using it, the water's just gonna lift all that buildup, and then you take one of those flat spatulas and just clean it off. Very simple. Steamers are the best for grills.
All right, good to know. That is it for time. Remember, your dream vacation is closer than you think. We'll see you next time.